job.
We're ready?
Yes, we're on air.
Okay. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. Please listen to the rules and procedures that will follow for tonight's meeting.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. The following is the procedure that will be followed tonight. The matters will be called in the order they appear on the calendar, with adjourned matters being called at the end of the regularly scheduled matters. Matters cannot be heard prior to their published scheduled time. When your matter is called, please submit the affidavit of posting to the secretary and proceed to the podium and give your name and address. The chairperson will then swear you in and read into the record information we have from your application, comments from various town departments, and any correspondence received on your application. The chairperson will then ask you to make whatever presentation you wish to make to the board. After you have made your presentation, the board will ask whatever questions the board deems appropriate, and then we will ask for comments from the public. If you wish to speak for or against an application, we ask that you wait until you're acknowledged. Come forward, give us your name and address, tell us where your property is in relation to the property that's in question tonight, and then please direct your comments to the board, not the applicant or the applicant's representative. We have to keep a record, and we cannot do that if there are people talking over each other or cross conversations. If someone has spoken for or against an application, and they have said exactly the same thing that you wish to say, it will have the same force and effect in the record if you give your name and address, are sworn in, and say that you join in those comments. If you have anything additional to say, please don't hesitate to do so, but keep in mind that you will be given only one opportunity to speak. After the public has spoken, the board may ask the applicant to come back to answer any questions that may have come up as a result of the public comments, or for the applicant to summarize. When the applicant comes back to answer any additional questions, if that happens, that does not start a second round of public comments. Once the matter has been heard, various things may occur. The board may decide the application immediately. It may reserve decision. If the board reserves decision, that does not mean the matter is approved or denied. It just means that the board needs more time to decide, may want to go out and look at the site again, or might want to review the documents and testimony further before making a decision. In either event, the applicant will receive the board's decision in writing shortly after the board makes its decision. If the application is approved, that does not mean that you can then go ahead and start construction or whatever it is that you requested from the board. You will have to wait for the building permit to be obtained from the building department before your go-ahead. On some occasions, the matter may be continued for another night. If it is continued, in most cases it will be for the submission of documents, a new survey, new plans, or something of that nature. If that's the case, no one needs to come back on the new date. The documents will be submitted and no further testimony will be taken. On rare occasions, a matter may be continued for future testimony. If that's the case, then people would have to come back to testify. If matters are adjourned at an open meeting on the scheduled date of hearing, no further notice need be given unless specifically required by the board on the date the adjournment is granted. 3 rules that may affect your ability to proceed tonight. 1. If the sign was not posted for 10 days, we cannot hold the hearing tonight. 2. If you commence this proceeding while you own the property, but no longer own the property, and you are here now to continue with the application, you will need either the written consent of the new owner or the new owner to be present for the hearing. This situation could come about if you sold your house or building, money was held in escrow at closing for a certificate of occupancy or permit, and you're here tonight to clear that up. Lastly, if your application is a commercial application and it's other than a renewal, and there is more than one tenant in the building, then you need your landlord to be here. Is there any applicant that has any difficulty with those situations and would need an adjournment tonight?
Is there anyone that would need an adjournment? Please rise and join the board in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First application is application 25033 of Eric Schultz and Lori Worcester, property located in Deer Park.
How you doing? Good evening.
Name and address for the record, please.
Eric Schutz, 197 Homer Avenue, Deer Park, New York, 11729.
Okay. You affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated April 2nd, 2025. Survey by Setafico Land Surveying dated January 3rd, 2023. Environmental control memo dated April 4th, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey, oh no, this is the map acting as a tax map. And
Chairman, there's 9 photographs.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
I got this house like 6 years ago. There was an existing shed that was in the back corner of my property, and now that I'm getting my existing finished basement permitted by the buildings department, it came up that my shed is too close to the property line.
So that shed's been like that since you bought the house and it sits in that spot?
Yep.
Good. What's the, there's a tarp there with something?
Yeah, it's a fenced enclosure, like a dog kennel.
And what's it for?
A dog kennel?
It's a dog kennel? Is that fenced in and stuff too? Like,
Yeah. Not like fenced, like property line fence, just a standalone, kind of build it yourself. It's not in the ground.
it's not really a structure. So that's all it is for the dog?
Yeah.
Okay. So is there an apartment in the basement?
No.
There is?
No.
No. Okay.
Is there a kitchen in the basement?
No.
No kitchen?
Are you legalizing the finished basement?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
You raise dogs?
No.
How many dogs
Raise
do you
them.
have?
I had two. No longer have dogs.
So can that be in the backyard being taken down, or you plan on getting another dog?
It could be taken down, but I don't see why not. Why it needs to, unless there's something wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it, it just, came up in the inspection, so it's not needed. It's your choice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's all too close to the property line. So if that shed had to come down at some point when it's in disrepair, would you agree to a condition that it be placed in a legal location?
If it needed to come.
If it
down?
needed to come down, not that you have to take it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
All right, any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve application 25033 with a condition on the face of the CO of that if the shed ever has to come down because it's in disrepair, that it be put in a legal location.
Second.
understood.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Okay, good luck.
Does that do anything with my buildings permit?
That's next.
That's not, yeah.
Okay.
And then you can get the
And
building permit.
who gets this one?
Next application is application 25039 of Elvin Amaya, property located in North Babylon. Name and address for the record, please.
144 Comac Road, North Babylon, New York.
I need your name, too.
Evelyn
Okay.
Sulon.
And you're going to speak too, ma'am?
I'm gonna talk for her.
That's fine. I just need your name and address for the record.
Sandra Ariza, and I live 144 Comac Road, North Babylon.
Okay, and do you both affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated April 2nd, 2025. Survey by Lawrence Michael Haynes, dated April 26, 24. Environmental Control Memo dated April 4th, 2025. Approve this application will not result in a significant impact. Tax map acting as an area map. And,
Chairman, there's 20 photographs.
okay. Before we begin, we need to amend the application to add a fifth variance. It's going to read diminished distance to front street line from 40 to 26 at Comac Road for a shed.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
Well, we just want to know if we're gonna approve to have the parking, that's all.
Okay, I'll turn the hearing over to, yeah, Mrs. Corquitas.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Good. The shed, was it existing when the home was purchased?
The shop?
The shed?
Yeah.
It was?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
What year was the shed built?
I got no idea, because when we bought the house, it wasn't there, so.
Okay. Can the shed be relocated to a conforming location? Would you be willing to move it?
I'm sorry.
Would you be willing to relocate the shed to a conforming location?
Yes.
No,
Yes,
would-
we do.
Now, would you be willing to move it right
We moved
now?
it already.
We moved
No,
it.
You
we
moved it already?
Yes,
It's 2 feet from the property line, from the
it
west
is
side?
now, yes.
Okay.
I don't know, do you remember how many? I mean, we just tell the construction guy to move it up, but I really don't know how far it is. He just put it on legal.
We need to know that number.
Okay, I don't, yeah, because we don't have it the numbers.
Okay, you'll need to get that to the board,
All right,
because that's the variance that will be affected.
okay,
How many families are living in the home?
just one family,
Just one
one
family?
family, yes.
And are there any apartments? Are there any
Apartments?
apartments in the home?
No,
No.
it's just a house, yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board?
What about the driveway, Mickey? That's why they're here.
It's number 4,
Yeah.
condition.
The front yard, there's a driveway from 40 to 70.
On the planning memo, there's 4 conditions listed. Should the shed ever be taken down, it is to be rebuilt in a conforming location, which you said you already moved it. Should gazebo ever be taken down, it be rebuilt in a conforming location, no enclosure of the gazebo, and no further expansion of the driveway. Do you agree to those 4 conditions?
What do you think? Hold on, give me 1 second, please.
Hi, I'm Jose Espinal. I help her with all the paperwork.
Hold on 1 second. Do you affirm to tell the, I need your address.
Okay. Jose, 30 31st Street, Coppay, New York, 11726.
Okay, and do you
my
affirm
name
to
is
tell the
Jose
truth?
Espinal. Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So, what was the question again?
On the planning memo, were you able to read those 4 conditions?
Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
do you agree to them?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. It's the large driveway, right?
It's multiple things, it's not just the driveway.
Yeah, and
it's-
the gazebo and the check. Yeah.
Yeah, so you agree to all 4?
Yeah.
Any other question from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. You'll get the decision in the mail. You're going to have to also, I'll keep the record open so that you can provide us with the proper measurements of where the shed is.
Thank you.
Did you need like a new survey or, okay,
The plot plan showing the new location. You need a number.
for the chairs, okay. Okay,
Alright.
we'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have that paper with your name on it?
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Next application is application 25034 of John and Cynthia Young, property located in West Babylon.
Hello.
Name and address for the record, please.
My name is John Young. I live in 17 Warden Place, West Babylon, 11704.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes?
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated April 2nd, 2025. Survey dated June 19th, 2000. I can't read, it's cut off who it's from. Environmental control memo dated April 8th, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, there's 4 photographs on the site plan by James Moore Jr. dated November 4th, 2024.
okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
Yes, we want to put an in-ground pool. It's just something to enjoy. So you finish the backyard up nice and enjoy the backyard.
Okay. I'll turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
How are you?
Good.
Good. So, you're just putting in a pool.
Excuse me?
I said, so you're just putting in a pool?
Just pool and
Patios
pavers
around?
and everything, just put everything back
Outside.
there.
You keep 2 feet off all property lines?
Sure will.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Good?
I'm good, yeah. One side, you have two sides. Oh, we'll do two. That's okay then?
You all right?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 24-034 with the condition that the pavers, patio pavers maintain conforming setbacks from all property lines.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Next application is application 25041 of Javier Rodriguez, property located in West Babylon. Name and address for the record, please.
Javier Rodriguez, 1 Kenmore Street, West Babylon, New York, 11704.
You affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated April 2nd, 2025. A survey by Constance Pitnick, dated August 14th, 2023. Environmental control memo dated April 4th, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Mr. Chairman, there's 4 photographs on the site plan by Joseph Grazer. I couldn't find a date.
okay. Would you like to tell us about the application?
This application is actually, sorry, this is a little too loud. This application is to propose a second floor. So I have a big family. That's pretty much it. Got nothing else to say right now.
Okay. Thank you. I'll turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd again.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Do you, when, so this is for you, you're not, this isn't a spec house or anything? You're not, you moving into this house with your family yourself?
Yes. Yes, this is for me and my family.
And how long have you owned the home?
I bought this house back in October of 2023.
Okay, and, so there won't be, there's only gonna be 1 kitchen,
Yes.
okay? And how many bedrooms?
It's gonna be, let me see, it's 1, 2, 4-bedroom house,
And baths?
4 bathrooms.
4 baths?
I think so, yeah. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 4.
4 baths and 4 bedrooms.
Yes.
And can we do anything about the front porch? You're too close to your neighbor's property. Can you go from the door to, if I'm looking at the house, can you put it from where your front door is to the left rather than all the way to the right? It'll eliminate one of your variances, too.
Yes. I could actually shorten it up, yes.
I don't want you to, just move it
Right, to the, I
towards
got you.
109,
Okay,
from like the door over. So you'll submit plans to that effect?
yes.
Just a question. You said your address was 1 Kenmore, West Babylon?
Yes, 1 Kenmore Street,
So
West
who lives in
Babylon.
the house right now?
Nobody's living at the house. at
Nobody's
46
living there?
Yeah, nobody
Okay.
lives at the house at 464.
So we're going to redesign or put the front porch
Yes,
north, I guess it would be. And you're removing the rear deck and the awning over the deck
yes,
and the concrete on the side of the
Yes.
house? Okay. And the carport?
yes.
All right. You know when the rear addition was, oh, you wouldn't.
I believe it was done in the 1980s. Somewhere in 1980, it was done the rear.
All right, and the basement, the space, it's going to remain unheated,
Yes,
uninhabitable?
yes.
Okay, I don't think I have any further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board?
No.
Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Okay, so we're going to close the hearing, reserve decision. We're going to keep the record open for revised plan, I guess it is, yeah. And you'll get in the mail. You got to get that into us, the revised plan, all right?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Next application is application 25083 of Career Properties located in Deer Park. Kathy Bennett. Name and address for the record.
Kelly Bennett, 1257 Udall Road, Bayshore, New York, 11706.
Do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, for the record, we have a planning division memo dated April 2nd, 2025. A survey by Lawrence Michael Haynes dated March 14th, 2023. Environmental control memo dated April 4th, 2025. There's a couple of items on here: limit to single family, preserve natural vegetation, construction activity agreement. Should have a copy of that.
Yep.
And tax map acting as an area map. And
Mr. Chairman, there's 4
I think that's for the wrong property, right? The documents that were up on the screen?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Chairman, there's 4 photographs and 5 photographs in the site plan by 10 Design Group dated April 6, 2024.
would you like to tell us about the application?
Good evening, Chairman and members of the board. I'm here tonight on behalf of the property owners, Carrera Properties, who are builders, and the architect's office. So just to give the board a little bit of a update and background on this, I was before this board in July of '23. Initially, we were proposing a full second-story addition. The board's concern then actually was if the existing dwelling could even support a second story. It was in very bad shape, that existing dwelling. What we ended up, and we did get approval from the board at that time for a reduced front yard setback. We were proposing to cut off a portion of the rear of the dwelling, so we were improving that rear yard setback. What we found is we cannot connect to sewers there, so they have to put in a new septic system no matter what when they add bedrooms. So with that being said, they made the decision to demo the house since it was in such bad shape and go with a proposed new dwelling. So that's kind of what brought us here tonight. We do currently have our Board of Health approval. It's already been approved for a 5-bedroom system. The proposed dwelling will have no basement. There is no intention of any kind of accessory or two-family. And in regards of tonight's request, we were able to amend the request for variance number 1 in terms of our request for rear yard setback. So we removed the portico. So the request that we're seeking now is a reduced rear yard of 35.8 inches. So 35 foot 8 inches.
Are you going to submit new plans on that, right?
Yes, I actually have a revised plot plan with me tonight to leave with the board, as well as that Board of Health approval. That seems to be why, you know, with the approval for that number of bedrooms and that size house, that's why they're really just trying to meet the board kind of halfway on the rear yard and give up that like 5 feet, but keep the existing, pretty much the living square footage is what they don't want to lose.
Okay.
And Katie, I don't know if floor plans are required, revised floor plans, or if the other comments can be worked out with building department in terms of the second master. We had 2 master bedrooms, one on the first floor, one on the second. That was a request. Again, there's no basement. They figured younger, older, but they are going to give that up on the first floor, the master.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We're looking at this.
That's okay.
So the reason for the 2 master bedrooms?
That was just the builder's preference. You know, they know that everybody loves like a bedroom downstairs as people get older. Like I said, it's a 2-story dwelling. There is no basement or downstairs. So it was their preference. However, you know, if it's going to raise any kind of concern of, you know, living units, they're fine to give that up. We can easily open up that first floor area and not propose the master bedroom downstairs.
So that'll make it a 4-bedroom or?
They're approved for 5 bedrooms, so they're going to have a total of 5 bedrooms.
There'll be 5 bedrooms
Yep,
upstairs?
master and 4.
But there's no intention of, you know, renting?
Not at all. I mean, it's a new house now, and we're agreeing to all the covenants and
That was, my
conditions
next-
by the board. So our, you know, like I said, they are builders, and because this has been a long time, and just the septic system alone is a huge investment, you know, we would just love to get the approval and finish out the process with building.
And you would agree to all the covenants and restrictions on the planning memo?
Absolutely, all of the covenants and restrictions.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
So are you okay with having the bedroom on the first floor, or do you want that relocated? It's up to you guys. Either way, you're putting the CMR on it.
All right, we'll talk about that.
But they're changing the front entrance, right? They're putting
We're going to remove the columns, and so that front roof over that's like 410, I think, or 5'2", has been really eliminated. So it's just the stoop, roof over, no more covered column front entryway. That's been removed. And then we slid the proposed house just up that 5 feet to create the extra feet in the rear yard.
Less of a setback in the back.
Yeah, and you know, it's kind of, looking back, we were approved for a 22-foot front yard, you know, in '23, and now we're seeking the relief at the rear yard, but, you know, it was, exactly. And there was an open front covered porch. And, you know, the original dwelling was built in '39, I want to say, so the assumption would be it would be a single and separate 100 by 100 lot, so.
So they would need a revised front entrance and new rear yard setback.
Yep,
And that elevation should match that if they're eliminating that.
perfect.
Should be 3 sets of those.
Perfect. And just to also confirm again, the Board of Health is who approves the septic system in terms of the number of bedrooms. There are certain bonus rooms that the Board of Health acknowledges with the septic system, like study, home office, other rooms. But to clear up the concern of 2-family is no intention, accessory was no intention. They're just trying to, you know, for resale, they want to max out the bedrooms that they were approved for.
Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing, reserve decision. We'll keep the record open for revised plans. Thank you.
Thank you.
No. Like me? Still got a cape and I still walk up the stairs. Next application is application 25035 of 136 Lindenhurst Holdings, LLC, property located in Lindenhurst. Name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the applicant, John Farrell, I'm with the firm of Son, Ward, Braff at Cascignano. Our offices are at 1300 Veterans Memorial Highway, Suite 100, Hauppauge, New York.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated April 2nd, 2025. Survey by Pat Cafico dated July 21st, 2023. Environmental control memo dated April 8, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Fire marshal's report dated April 10, 2025. This office has no objections to the above allocation. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman is 3 Ford Grass on the site plan by Carl L. Lingo, dated January 7th, 2025.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to amend the zoning district from industry EB to business EB. Second.
Favor.
Aye.
Okay.
Good evening. With me tonight is Sean Mulryan from Mulryan Engineering. He's our traffic safety engineer. The subject property is located on the northeast corner of Sunrise Highway and North Green Avenue. It's identified on the Suffolk County Land and Tax Map as Section 208, Block 1, Lot 71. It's a little over 20,000 square feet in total lot area. It's in an EB zone, and it's presently improved with a single-story building with a double drive-through that was previously a Checkers restaurant. We're here tonight seeking a parking variance to operate a Qdoba restaurant. Qdoba is a fast casual restaurant specializing in Mexican cuisine. My client's proposing to demolish the existing building on the site and replace it with a 2,363 square foot building with a single drive-through lane located on the west side of the property. The building will have seating the property will have seating for up to 50 people. There'll be 44 indoor seats and 6 outdoor seats. The application requires a variance to reduce the parking from 29 spaces required to 22 provided. We've gone through the traffic safety with the town's engineer, Nelson and Pope, and they tend to agree with the conclusions reached by our expert. And at this time, I'd like to call Sean Mulryan to provide testimony regarding the parking.
Name and address for the record, please.
Sean Mulryan, Mulryan Engineering, 1225 Franklin Avenue, Garden City, New York.
Do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
What would you like to tell us?
I'd like to submit 3 copies of the report that we prepared. This has previously been submitted to the town. Copy for the record and for the board to review. I'd also like to submit a copy. There is a cover page to this document from the town of Babylon discussing the review process, and it includes the memo that was referenced by Mr. Farrell concerning the Nelson and Pope review of the application. So Nelson and Pope reviewed the study that I just submitted, and comment number 10 on the letter that I'm about to submit states, we have reviewed the parking assessment conducted by Mulryan Engineering and agree that the proposed parking should sufficiently accommodate the parking needs of the Qdoba restaurant. So I'll just submit that. November of 2024, November 8th, 2024. So just for the record and for the board's edification, the report that we prepared looked at the existing subject site. This was the former Checkers. We should all be familiar with it because it's literally right down the block. I'm sure some of us drove past it on the way here tonight. We also looked at, in terms of the referenced parking variance that we're asking for, other restaurants that are within this same stretch of Sunrise Highway. So we looked at the Tropical Smoothie Cafe and the Chipotle, and directly across the street from the Chipotle, the Taco Bell. So we included within our report parking counts at those locations, again, on the same stretch of road, same type of food service, fast casual, fast food restaurants. And we found that the parking demand at those locations and the parking supply at this subject site were a match, and that there would be, in our opinion, no excess parking off the subject site. So we believe that the parking that's provided is adequate for the proposed use. That was also confirmed by the town's traffic engineer that reviewed the application, and it was further backed up by the studies that we took, again, at the similar restaurants on the same stretch of Sunrise Highway, directly outside the building. So if there's any questions from the board, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Any questions from the board? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we think overall this is going to be an improvement to the subject property. We're going to replace a lot of the landscaping along the rear property line that died. We're going to do upgrades to landscaping around the entire site. And overall, it's going to be a nicer building. And the applicant has several Qdoba restaurants around Long Island, including one in Bayshore. They're all impeccably maintained. They're very on top of their properties. They like them to be neat and tidy, and we think it's going to be a benefit to the community. If the board has any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you. I'll turn the hearing over to Mr. Rigney.
How are you, Mr. Rigney?
How are you?
Good.
Question in regards to staffing at this restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
How many employees?
We have, just give me 1 second. I think at most it's 5.
No, it's labeled bar restaurant. I don't think they serve liquor, do they?
They don't. Bar restaurant is the special permit application that we require from the town. If you have more than 16 seats in a restaurant, it goes for a bar restaurant special permit from the planning board.
Closing time at this restaurant?
We've gone over this with the planning board. We've cited the other fast food in the area. McDonald's is 24 hours. Taco Bell is open till 3 a.m. I don't know that this particular use is going to stay open that late. It usually closes a little bit earlier, but my client is hesitant to agree to hours that are different than other fast food in the area because he's the property owner as well, and he doesn't want to hurt the value of the property.
I noticed the other restaurants, Qdoba, that's all right. 10 p.m. closings, would he follow suit with the chain, or?
Most likely he would, but again, I don't see how how the hours of operation have a direct impact on the parking variance that we're here for tonight. We are dealing with the planning board in terms of the special permit on the hours, and we've made our case to them. Right, but the hours, to impose a condition on an approval, it has to be reasonably related to the relief sought by the applicant. The parking, whether it doesn't affect the hours of operation don't affect how many parking spaces we have. No, they'll be used, they'll be used the same way parking spaces would normally be used.
you're saying regardless of the hours of operation.
Right. I mean, there are no restrictions on, I hate to say it, but there's a Taco Bell in Lindenhurst that does not have restrictions on hours, and there are kids parked there all night long. And there was no condition put on that approval, and they needed a parking variance.
We imposed the same condition on the Taco Bell in Lindenhurst.
Which Taco Bell in Lindenhurst? On which one?
The corner of Delaware, there's recently an application from this board.
Okay. All I can say is that I don't believe that the hours of operation are reasonably related to to a parking variance that we need.
So is that a no?
As I said, if the hours are going to be addressed by the town, I think it's more appropriate that they be addressed by the planning board, since we require a special permit for the bar or restaurant application.
Got a few more questions.
Go for it.
Is it going to be pretty much the same footprint as Checkers with the 2 drive-throughs? How it?
Just one drive-through.
Just one drive-through?
One drive-through on the west side of the building. The way Qdoba's drive-through works is it's generally a limited menu, and it's usually on a pre-order basis. But they do have drive-up orders, but it generally moves pretty quickly. They have like preset items that you have to order from the menu.
And is it a digital soundboard where you talk to the animated thing? Is it like that? Or?
Yeah, it's a traditional speaker system. I'm sure this board is familiar with the technology that they use on the drive-through speakers now. They automatically adjust based on the ambient noise in the area. So at rush hour, the speaker is going to be a lot louder because you have a lot of vehicles passing by at a high rate of speed, as opposed to, a later time in the evening, 9 o'clock or so, it'll be much quieter.
Yeah, we just don't want the neighbors to be upset with the volume.
Understood, and I believe the speaker box actually faces to the west towards the bank. It doesn't face directly back towards the residential community.
And the lighting on the property will remain on the property, not off-site?
100%.
And you said you're replacing all the buffer by the residential side?
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I got no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. So we're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. We need Suffolk County planning on this that we don't have yet.
Okay.
All right, so as soon as we get that, we can act on the application.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Next application is application 25036 of Spike Auto, property located in Deer Park. This guy's not here, the 3 applications.
Hi, good evening.
Name and address for the record.
Kelly Bennett, 1257 Udall Road, Bayshore, New York, 11706.
Do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated April 2nd, 2025. Survey by Alta ACSM Land Title Survey. Oh, John Robinson. Dated November 1999. Environmental control memo dated April 8th, 2025. If you were to approve this application, it would need a negative declaration. Fire marshal's report dated,
Yeah.
where?
The second page, April 10th.
Oh, April 10th, okay. I was looking at other dates. Let's see what we got here. Spray, create. Okay. Fire prevention permit application has not been received. Secure a building permit for the vehicle lift. ZBA application received. Blah, 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 blah. Tax map acting as an area map and.
Chairman, there's 13 photographs and a site plan by RMM Design Studio dated October 24th, 2024.
Okay. Would you like to tell us about the application?
I'm here tonight on behalf of the tenant, who is Spike Auto. The building owner, just so the board knows, Mr. Steven Dorff is present with us tonight. This is our first request for auto body repair at this location, so just so the board knows, he is present this evening for that request. So Spike is currently located at 92 East Industry Court. This is a multi-tenant building in GA zone. Most recently, we were before the board for the Long Island Cannabis Club. That was also in this building. So we were here for that use. The building is under very good condition with that, planning approval and everything just coming out. Spike is self-employed. It is just him. His unit is 2,154 square feet of repair area in the shop, and there is an office area which is 324 square feet. So there is no other person that would be coming to work or utilizing that office. Just to give you guys an idea of his scope of work for auto body repair, it ranges anywhere from, let's say, a new bumper that Spike receives that needs to be painted. That may take him 15 minutes. He also has scopes of work that consist of full restorations of vehicles that could be a year-long project. It is imperative that when those projects, obviously the vehicles not be subjected to any elements. So again, these are vehicles stored inside. He would only have 4 cars max at any given time that he would be working on. We're not proposing or seeking outdoor storage with this application because he has no need for that at this point. So just to kind of confirm that with the board. His hours of operation would be Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And basically, all his equipment that he needs to work is located inside the shop. So no work is planning on being done outside. We do not think that he creates any kind of negative impact on any of the budding tenants in the building. And actually, 2 of them have signed in support of Spike's application, so I'll go ahead and submit that to the board. We did apply separately for our spray booth. I saw the fire marshal comments that we have to go in with a separate app for the car lift, which we'll address. So I don't know if the board has any questions, but that's pretty much the scope of our application, is just for the use.
So, okay, so he's not going to be on the toll list or anything like that?
No, and also just so the board is aware, he does not have any kind of contracts with anyone else that would, let's say, be dropping off damaged vehicles over. There is zero intention for vehicles being towed to the location or dropped off, or Spike being on a tow list.
Basically, he's a restoration.
Yes, auto body repair. So like I said, it really ranges. So, think about how quick a bumper could get fixed if it comes in new and just needs to get painted. So that's the nature of his business.
No weekends.
No weekends. I mean, at this, I don't know what hours we're sharing with the board. His hours of operation are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. I would have to, confer with him if he did business as needed, or let's say a Saturday 8 to 12. Does the board need confirmation on that? Weekend?
Yeah, just,
Spike, what do you think? Would you ever need to operate? Not necessary. Ever happen? Could you foresee it ever happening? Okay. No, we wouldn't be in need of hours on the weekend.
He's the only one working at
Just Spike, yeah.
Just one employee? I mean, just him?
It's just him. He is a one-man show.
No oils or anything like that, no oil drums, anything gonna be stored on site?
No.
any other questions from the board?
Oh, 100, yes. Both Mr. Dorff and Spike have reviewed the planning memo and the covenants and restrictions, so we would agree to absolutely every single one of them, and know that we'd be back back before you next year, hopefully.
Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Yep.
Need a negative deck?
I'll make a motion to adopt a negative declaration on application 25036.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve application 25036 with the condition on the face of the CO that we get fire marshal approval for a period of 1 year.
Second.
All in favor? And the standards, covenants, and restrictions.
Thank you all so much for your time.
Aye.
All right. Okay. Okay. Next application is application 25037 of Michael Woos, doing business as Brian's Auto Body Collision, property located in West Babylon.
Good evening.
Name and address for the record, please.
Michael Was, 1323 Jefferson Avenue, West Islip, New York. You did good with the last name. You got close.
I said I tried.
Won't beat you up for that.
Okay. Do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, for the record, we have a planning division memo dated April 7, 2025. Site plan, Global Abstract Corporation, Brian Viola, with no date. Environmental control memo dated April 8, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Fire marshal report dated April 10th, 2025, has a valid permit. Tax map acting as an area map, and...
Chairman, there's 4 photographs.
Would you like to tell us about the application?
Yeah, just to renew my variance to operate a public garage in the town of Babylon. I feel I run a clean operation. All my vehicles, anything I work on is on my own property at all times. And there's always parking in my driveway for customers. And that's basically it.
Okay, turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
How are you?
Good, hello.
There was a trailer in front of the property that was ticketed. Did that have anything, was that associated with it?
No, that was really across the street, and it was a tractor trailer. So it had nothing to do with me now.
Nothing to do with you?
No.
Okay, you agreed to this standard covenants and restrictions? For auto repair?
Yep.
I don't have any further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board?
You're only in a portion of the building, right? You don't own
Half
the
of
whole
it.
building? So we just amend that, so it's only in a portion.
Oh, okay. Well, in connection with a portion of the existing building, that should read it, a portion, so, yeah, okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 25-037 with the subject to standard covenants and restrictions for auto body collision for a period of 5 years.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, good luck.
As amended?
As
As
amended.
amended. As amended.
Gotta end the live stream, please.
In the live stream.
Oh, that ends the live streaming portion of our meeting. We'll now continue on